Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. I hope you're all having a great day. It's the Great American Daytona 500 and it's the final Daytona 500 of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. That's right, we kick off the last ever season of this career mode season 6, final season. As we got the number 7 actually part-time in the field this weekend of Ryan Truex as well. Defending Daytona 500 champion Erik Jones in the field, returning with the number 34 Front Row Motorsports single car team for this final season as well. And we've got stories like Tricon expanding here alongside Tanner Gray. You got fellow now rookie driver, the number 15 of Gio Ruggiero, who moves up from the Truck Series. You got the 21 of Austin Cindric in the Wood Brothers Racing team in the field this weekend, trying to repeat that success all the way back from 2011. We've got a brand new paint scheme on our cars. The primary target still is a sponsor and scheme you will see on the track, but now we have a main sponsor of Next Level Racing. As you guys know, we're actually partnered with this channel with Next Level Racing, which you can use code GOIN25 for 5% discount on all orders on their website, linked in the description below, for any sim racing seats, cockpits, etc. if you're interested. Qualifying, we know how it goes in the Daytona 500. We're going to qualify dead last here. It's not pretty, but looking at the rest of the order, of course, we got a new teammate with us this season in 32nd, Connor Zilish, who of course replaces Noah Gragson. If you're wondering about all the silly season moves, you can check it out in the off-season video, which was just before this episode. As you see, Carson Hocevar, our other junior motorsports teammate, wrapping out the top 20. Chase Purdy, brand new Trackhouse driver there in the mid-teens now as well. As you can see, wrapping at the top 10, Todd Gilliland, and all the way up on pole, who is it going to be? Not seeing the 9 yet, and it's Chase Elliott on pole, joined by Austin Hill on that front row. Chandler Smith, new Trackhouse driver in the 99, replacing Kyle Busch there in the second row. Brendan Queen won the Truck Series here for the Next Era NRG 250 on Friday night. As you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen, and as well Amazon Prime action in Daytona on Saturday afternoon as well. Defending champ Daniel Suarez looking to kick off the season, but it was Brandon Jones who kicks it off with a win. So great start to the season for Jones, as that sets the playing field and stage for the Great American Race here for this Daytona 500 for this final season of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. We've gotten questions as we get ready to kick this race off. Why is it the final season of the career mode? It's very obvious. NASCAR 25 comes out October 14th. We only have time for one more season before that game releases. So yeah, that's very simple. So we're here on the grid ready to kick things off now, as it's just going to be an exciting one. We've won the Daytona 500 one time in the past. We're coming off of a 7-win season and our first ever Cup Series championship. The momentum is at an all-time high, and who is not at a high for is a 24 of William Byron, who joins me at the back of the field, but however, it's because his car failed optical scanning station, so that 24 Exalta Cadillac joins myself here from the back, and we are officially ready to kick off the Season 6 Daytona 500. Green flag is out. We're racing here from Daytona. Chase Elliott and Austin Hill lead the field down into turn 1. Big names this season looking for turnarounds. Chase Elliott, I mean, he only won one race last season, but he did make it to the Final Four and fight for a championship. Kyle Larson missed the playoffs due to injury, went winless all the way into the season finale in Kansas, and picked up the win in the last corner on a last lap pass against our teammate of Carson Hocevar, who was set up to get his 4th win of the season. How about Carson Hocevar? We talk about driver changes as well. You see stage 1, 22 laps, but we've got plenty of time to kind of go over some changes. And, you know, Raj Fenway Keselowski, no changes to that team. They're looking to step things up after they missed the playoffs and went winless. Actually, there was one change, sorry. Justin Haley, of course, out of the 60. He goes to Rick Ware Racing. Josh Berry now behind the wheel of the Subway Ford Mustang, designed by DMoney Designs. Beautiful paint scheme you'll see on the track throughout this season. But of course, we as well see Andretti Global. They have expanded to a 4th car, and they have brought Ryan Preece into that team behind the wheel of the number 29. They have as well increased their funding alongside Honda, so they have basically become the flagship Honda team and have leaped over Trackhouse, who sees a brand new lineup, and they've downsized to 3 cars this season. There you see one of the new Andretti drivers right there in the 27. Of course, Sammy Smith on the way out. The 27 now driven by rookie driver Carson Kvapil. I forgot the driver tags again. I swear I'm going to have them for Atlanta for the next episode, as we actually hit a bit of a bump there into turn 3 behind the new 81 driver. Of course, the 19 at Joe Gibbs is gone. Alex Bowman jumps into the number 18 car after coming so close to stealing the championship from me last season, and now Jesse Love comes over to that team to replace Chandler Smith, who has moved over to Trackhouse Racing. There, as you see the 26 on our outside there in that Gamebridge Honda, that's Nick Sanchez. This season kicks off with 2 super speedways, in Atlanta now has 2 dates on the schedule. Last season it was only 1 date that they had. They will now be the 2nd race of the season, and then they'll be later in the playoffs as well. Of course, the playoff structure has not changed from the last 2 seasons. It's 12 races. The final 4 gets a proper 3 race round. As you as well see us passing now Josh Berry behind the 48 of Rajan Caruth. We've worked our way into the top half of this field in just 8 laps of racing. You got a brand new team on the grid with Jordan Anderson Racing. You see on the right side of the 48, that's the number 32, driven by Cup Series winner Corey Day, who won a race last season while substituting for Kyle Larson out for injuries. So we know Corey Day has the ability to win Cup Series races. He didn't have necessarily the most impressive Xfinity run, but Jordan Anderson Racing wanted to go Cup racing, and that was the guy that they chose to go Cup racing with. So it's going to be interesting to see how things work out there with that new rookie driver and a brand new team. Risky to say the least, bringing a rookie driver with a rookie team. You know, although he's already a proven Cup winner, still, I think it's a bit of a risk here now as we come up to the back of the 22 of Joey Logano, who suffered a off-season concussion after that massive head-on crash in the season finale in Kansas. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on as rumors start to pick up again that Logano could be retiring following this season. He was supposed to retire a few seasons back, but then when Ryan Blaney announced he was leaving, kind of put Penske in a bit of a tough situation. Joey Logano as well started finding some success. He decided to stick around, and now he is in his 2nd full-time season since he was originally going to retire and called it off. So you have to wonder if he's going to look at retirement again. As we come to lap 14, we've broken officially into the top 10 following this number 12 of Zane Smith. Penske Racing had a pretty horrible season in season 5. Logano won 2 races, made the playoffs, but was an early exit, and his 2 teammates of Smith and Todd Gilliland, they didn't do anything as well. I mean, they weren't even close to making the playoffs, so something we definitely want to see different for them this season. Green flag pit stops now kicking off here as we come down the front straightaway. Smoked out of a car on the outside. That's the 43, Noah Gregson. New driver at Legacy Motor Club, former teammate at JRM. Tire down, caution comes out. All those cars hit the pits. They can do a free pit stop. So we are up to P6 at the time of the caution. But all those guys that just pitted get a free pit stop here under yellow, and we're going to have to come in after them, and that's going to shuffle us probably out of the top 10. Is currently Kyle Larson out in front, looking to kick this season off with the same momentum that he left that final previous season off with there in season 5 with that win in Kansas. We dropped 10 spots, putting us down to P16 here alongside that 12 of Zane Smith behind the 17 of Chris Buescher. It's going to be just 4 laps of racing to go in stage 1, and what I thought was we might be racing for a stage win. Now we're just going to be trying to get stage points here, as we got the 21 Wood Brothers Racing Ford Mustang there behind us of Austin Cindric, of course, part-time driver. He only comes around for, usually does a Daytona 500. He maybe will do a road course or as well maybe another couple super speedways, but that's pretty well the only time we expect to see him in the grid. Of course, he shifted his focus to full-time sports car racing in IMSA a few seasons ago and hasn't looked back, and has found some success with winning a championship as well in IMSA in the time that he has been over there now. As you see the new driver in that 00, previously my current teammate Connor Zilish, now it is Chase Purdy moving up from the Amazon Prime Series. There goes the number 1 Monster Energy Trackhouse Honda Civic. That's Tyler Reddick, of course, over the offseason. A trade between Trackhouse and 2311. Reddick comes from the 45 at 2311 to Trackhouse. Chastain moves over to the 45. What can Ross Chastain do? I think this is an opportunity for Ross Chastain to really unleash and do something he's not done, and that's truly fight for a championship in this NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. It's really it's hard to believe we haven't seen him fight for a championship yet. I mean, of course, he's had no problems making the playoffs, but just hasn't found a way to make it to the Final Four on a consistent basis here now, as we are right there to the right rear of our teammate of Connor Zilish there. I expect this team, Junior Motorsports, I think has a massive lineup in store for this season now, as a shot to the back of the 21. He's slipping and sliding, saves it with 2 to go, but I mean, a mess of a restart the last few laps. We've dropped outside of the top 25. Stage points are completely out of the equation now, as the 34 of Eric Jones leads to the white flag in stage 1. We got the 20 of Christopher Bell, season 4 champ, here to my front bumper now, as we follow him into turn 1. Show the nose, however, into the corner. We'll be able to get the position here. Now it's just about trying to position ourselves for the pit stop and, you know, for the start of stage 2. Here's Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney. They're all going backwards. You got the 45 of Frost Chastain there just behind us in that Busch-like Camry as we head down this back straightaway, and it's the defending Daytona 500 winner from season 5, Eric Jones, leading into turn 3. That win last season put them into the playoffs. We have seen this Daytona 500 produce surprise winners season after season, just about. A lot of the other super speedways haven't done it, but this one has. Eric Jones is going to win stage 1 over colleague rookie Andres Perez. That team switched over to Honda this season as well, from, of course, Chevrolet and of course, eventually Cadillac, as everyone's going to pit for tires and fuel here. Jesse Love with Joe Gibbs racing his debut there in P3. Gilliland as well, having a very solid run. Corey Heim, one of the 2311 drivers we expect to see big things out of this season, because we really saw him step up his game, you know, in the final, I would say, 15 or so races of season 5 as we get ready to go back racing. There's my teammate of Carson Hocevar, a row in front of us on the inside, and then number 4. As we kick off stage number 2, we're up to P20. We've got some work to do still, but yeah, I mean, not the stage 1 we were looking for, but I was originally talking about this Junior Motorsports lineup. Is actually a bit of a checkup behind myself there, but we got a huge lineup at Junior Motorsports. We got myself, who is coming off of 7 wins last season and a championship for the first time in our career. We've got Carson Hocevar, who pretty well lit the world on fire once the playoffs started, won 3 races and lost in a photo finish at the new Nashville Super Speedway to Rajah Caruth, and on top of that was 1 corner away from winning the season finale in Kansas. He could have easily won 5 races just in the playoffs alone, and he still missed the Final 4. And what really bit Carson Hocevar was the fact that he didn't pick up a lot of playoff points through the regular season, because he hadn't won a single race in the regular season or a stage. It was the playoffs where he really elevated his performance, but one just subpar race in Martinsville got him eliminated from a chance to be in the Final 4. And of course, we have our other teammate, Connor Zilish, brand new at the team. There was a bit of drama, of course, going on with Trackhouse and the whole situation there of getting Zilish to come over to our team, and it was a complete mess. And Hocevar was originally going to go to Trackhouse, of course, and that was where the real drama was over. But it all worked out, whereas Hocevar stays here, Zilish comes over as well, and he won a race last season with Trackhouse in his second full-time season of Cup Series action. And we already know Connor Zilish is a superstar talent, and now he's in a team that's going to be better than Trackhouse. And I think it's really going to be a recipe. I think collectively, this team has the talent, just pure talent. I think we could win at least 10 races as a team with myself, Hocevar, and Zilish. Now, I do believe we're not going to be able to put a 7-win season together like we did last season. Now, smoke in the back actually there, and that's the 27. That's the 27 of Carson Kovalpal, one of the Rookie of the Year competitors that has a tire down. Caution comes out. Everybody is going to stay out as Todd Gilliland leads the way as we get ready for a restart. Actually, our part-time teammate Ryan Truex in the number 7, currently on the front row there in P2. But as I was saying, I don't really think this is going to be a 7-win season, because we've got a lot more, you know, competition just within our team, and we have Hocevar, who's now figured things out, and we have Connor Zilish. So I really do think we can win 10 races for sure as a team. But yeah, I mean, you know, we won 7 ourselves last season, and with Hocevar winning 3, we won 10 races as a team last season. And so I think that's a fair bar to kind of set for a goal here now, as we've got a little over 10 to go in the stage, and a bit of a stack up there on the inside. Corey Heim to my right side now as we head down this back straightaway, and just taking my time. This Daytona 500, I mean, it can reward patience. I mean, we can, of course, you know, really get aggressive on some moves, but right now just kind of staying in line here behind this 81 of Jesse Love, and we're just going to kind of let this inside lane kind of work its magic and pull myself forward here as you got Chase Purdy right there in the middle. Up ahead, the 29 of Ryan Priest in the middle lane, as well as we kind of lose some draft on the exit of turn 4, and that is going to nearly get me cleared by the 11 Safelite 2311 Camry of Corey Himes. So a bit of a new lineup, of course, for that team this season. Himes sticks around, Ryan Blaney sticks around in the 23, but of course they now have Ross Chastain as a teammate. Now, by staying on this inside, I mean, look how far we go. We go to the top 10 as we're approaching just 10 to go in stage number 2, and it's been a bit of a Ford-dominated race so far now. Eric Jones wins the opening stage. Right now, Todd Gilliland was leading. He actually gives up the lead, but it's to another Ford, and it's his Penske teammate of Zane Smith as we look to the inside of the number 60 Subway Ford Mustang. RFK's new driver of Josh Berry will pass him down this back straightaway, and now we'll dive to the outside here, pulling that draft from the 2. Really didn't think that one out. I was hoping we would have enough of a run to clear the 00 and jump down. Not quite going to happen. It's a mix of Fords and Hondas, and then myself and Ryan Truex, a few Cadillacs up here now as we're coming up to the back of Andres Perez. We get a chance to jump down in front of my part-time teammate there, and Chase Purdy leaves the door open in that Trackhouse 00. We move up to P4 right to the back of the 2 of Gilliland, who as well is going to leave the door open. How about Tyler Reddick up here in that number 1 for Trackhouse, trying to mix it up. So you got a couple Trackhouse cars in the top 5, a couple Penske cars, and then I'm the lone wolf here for Junior Motorsports and Cadillac now as we show the nose on that Monster Energy Honda. Can't quite make anything happen, and I'm so excited for you guys to see the other schemes Tyler Reddick and others have coming for this season, because in the offseason I only revealed the Daytona 500 paint schemes. You're going to see all the other different paint schemes the painters have made, that Paj Designs has made, DMoney, Cachinero, Sanok as well. I mean, so many people have been involved in making paint schemes throughout this career mode as well. Deuces, Sanford as well, for the shout out to those 2 guys now as the number 1 of Tyler Reddick takes the lead from the 12 of Zane Smith here as we're coming up on 5 laps to go in stage number 2. Now I want my hand at the lead. We're finally up here. It's taken us nearly half the race. As soon as that happened, caution comes out. It's for the 31 of Brent Cruz, another tire failure. And that's going to bring everybody to the pits, and this is going to really make things interesting because we're, I think, going to have a 2-lap dash for the end of stage 2. Now, can this pit crew get me out in P1, or are we going to maintain P2? Well, we actually were the first one out, but Carson Kvampel, who brought out that caution earlier, was able to stay out because he could make it to the end of the stage with this caution. He now leads and commands the field back to the green flag. It's going to be 2 laps to go in stage number 2 of this 2028 Daytona 500. Now he's got help from the number 2 of Todd Gilliland. Gilliland's teammate of Zane Smith lined up behind me, and that Money Lion Ford Mustang for Penske. You got RFK, number 6 of Christian Eckes up here in the mix. Eckes kicked off season 5, his first season with a solid team, very well until he had an early season short and brief injury, but it really kind of killed the momentum on that number 6, and they just never really bounced back. So I feel like the offseason is something they're looking forward to, and honestly RFK's momentum in general kind of for some reason died out after that short injury from Christian Eckes. Now Chris Buescher really found some momentum at the tail end of last season, but still went winless now as we're going to hang out the 27 of Carson Kvampel, new rookie on the grid. He's going to have to learn right now because we found him sleeping as we come to the final lap of stage 2. The 2 of Gilliland leads. His teammate pushes me. The 6 in line with the 2 as well as the 00 of Chase Purdy. Once again, we're surrounded by Fords and Honda. They have been dominant in these first 2 stages. We do have a few Cadillacs up here of myself. The 3 of Austin Hill as well. Talladega winner from season 4. As we head down this back straightaway, my teammate as well of Ryan Truex coming up into the conversation as we have a pull off that back bumper of the 2. He's trying to command both lanes. We have a pull from him, but it dies out as we head into turn 3. He drops back down to the inside. No chance for me here as we've got no help as we roll through 3 out of turn 4. Zane Smith obviously not going to want to help me, and it's going to be the 2 of Todd Gilliland leading into the tri-oval. He takes stage 2 in this season opening Daytona 500. Fords in control here, sweeping the first couple of stages with Eric Jones and now Todd Gilliland. Everyone's going to stay out here outside of Carson Kvampel, who of course stayed out on that last caution right there in an attempt, of course, to score some points. Brent Cruz, Noah Gregson, both of the drivers out of this race right now. in this Daytona 500. One stage to go. Stage 3 set to kick off, and we know we've got some speed. I don't know if we have enough speed to take down what appears to be dominant Ford and Hondas right there with them. Those have very well been the two quickest cars here. So we got some work to do with this Cadillac camp now as we come back to racing, and it's going to be 23 laps to go in this Daytona 500. The final time we take the high banks of this 500 race. We still go back to Daytona for the regular season finale, of course, but you know, it's crazy to think, you know, after all this time, this is the final Daytona 500 that we're doing in this career mode before we jump to the NASCAR 25 career mode come mid-October, which unfortunately news there with the PC version being delayed. I do have to go and buy a console now. I don't have a console that could run the game, so I am going to have to get one. And if you're wondering what my plan is for that, current plan is I'll start my NASCAR 25 career mode on console and transition it to the PC version when the game comes out on PC, and then hopefully we haven't quite hit Cup Series, or it's right around the same time we hit the Cup Series, so then things still can kind of go to plan. But even if we have to stay on console, even if we can't mod the game, things are still very much capable, I think, of being able to do what I want with the storyline, just due to the pure customization that we're going to have in NASCAR 25, which seems pretty limit-free. So it definitely is not the end of the world if we're stuck on console for a while, or even if we can't mod the game. Of course, the only thing we would kind of lose is driver changes now. As we continue to this inside, back to the top 5. Look at that 00 Chase Purdy there in that Bama Buggies Honda Civic there for Trackhouse Racing. Going backwards, Zane Smith leads again, and it's Junior Motorsports trying to get up front here. I'm going to follow my teammate Ryan Priest, brand new driver there, that 4th expanded Andretti Global car to the outside. We follow that number 7 here, coming to 20 laps to go. How about Ryan Truex? What a story it would be if a part-time driver who, in my opinion, has proven time and time again he is worthy of some form of cup ride, still hasn't been able to find one in real life nor in the career mode. What a story it would be in a part-time ride if he could win the Daytona 500 now as we head down towards turn 1. 20 laps officially remain. Still Ford at the front with the 12 of Zane Smith. I'm confident if we can just find a way to get to the lead and control this race, then it's truly game on at that point. But we know the Fords and Hondas have something for us here as we come through 1 and 2 at this point. Lap 52, continuing to follow the 7. Not seeing any pressure right now. This inside lane's in control, and the 6 is in the outside wall. That's Christian Eckes with a tire down. Another tire failure today. That's very common occurrence as a caution is out. Nobody is pitting, so we're going to stay out. Bit of a surprising call, because I feel like if we pit now, we could probably make it, but just trying to stay on strategy here in case it goes green to the end. I wouldn't want to be on the track all by myself and having no draft, of course. So we restart P3. It's 16 laps to go in the Season 6 Daytona 500. Now looking at our rear view mirror, it's Alex Bowman in the number 18 Ally Financial Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing, who a few seasons ago when we won the Daytona 500 in Season 4, he was oh so close to, of course, winning that race. It was me who beat him out by about a quarter of a car length, if that. It was a photo finish with him going right down to the checkered flag, right at the start-finish line. It was epic. And of course, I mean, his venture at Richard Childress Racing, and that was what allowed him to get the opportunity to come back to a top team of Joe Gibbs Racing. And now Alex Bowman pushes us to the lead past the 12, as I think he realizes he's in a Toyota. He knows we need to try and get something that's not a Ford or a Honda in front, because they have been in control, but this is not going to be an easy task. Here comes that Ford Mustang power to the outside again. The 12 of Zane Smith, very much been running up front here all race long, and he is very much in the conversation to turn his career around after what's been a pretty rough few seasons for him. Here comes Chase Elliott as well. The Cadillacs are starting to show up, but look at the speed. He doesn't even have help, and he still clears me around the outside. Zane Smith back to the front here in the Daytona 500 with 15 laps to go, but this is far from over as they would continue to fight behind us. We now look to the inside on lap 57, looking alongside his door. We got that good side draft, and we've got help coming from the 9, but I see Smith's teammate of Gilliland Gilliland coming in the background, but Chase Elliott is going to choose to push. An Alliance team, of course, Hendrick and Junior Motorsports have a tight relationship now that really strengthened last season. As we continue down this front straightaway now, 2 Cadillacs in front, but it still wasn't quite enough. Here comes the Fords again, the Ford train on top, the 12 and the 2 working together down this back straightaway, 13 laps to go, and the intensity, you can feel it building here in this Daytona 500 now as we continue wheel to wheel. Elliott's cooled down that grill, that oil temperature, water temps all going down, allows him to get right back to my front rear bumper. I said cool down his grill, I meant his engine, of course, as the caution comes out as we lead, and it's my teammate of Truex with a tire failure. Everybody is going to pit. We are going to take 4 tires, and is that the right call? I don't know, but we're going to find out as we lead, coming into the pits with 12 laps to go in this Daytona 500, and as we complete the pit stop for 4 tires and a splash of fuel as well, we come out in P10. We have given up the lead, so clearly they have gone the route of 2 tires all around us, and now we've got only 9 laps to go, and we've got to find a way to make up the same track position. Alex Bowman's completely sleeping on this one. He left the door wide open, and I have to go. We got to get aggressive now. Last season, the message was embrace the aggression. Where did we get? Well, we became a Cup champion for the first time. I mean, there's no reason to not carry that same kind of emphasis into this season. Previously, I would have given Alex Bowman a break right there and let him back in line. We don't got time for that right now. We got to go down this back straightaway side by side with the RFK 98 Mahindra Tractors Ford Mustang driven by Chase Briscoe. Here comes Jesse Love in the 81, and we got a Tricon car coming up into the mix as well as we head down into turn number 3. Tricon in their second full-time season of Cup Series action. Now as we jump to the outside of the 3, who's been kind of off the pace now, has actually hit the wall, but we got help nonetheless down this front straightaway. How about Chandler Smith, new Trackhouse 99 driver, replacing the retired Kyle Busch, giving us a nice shove. That was a great just move right there. Even though I hit the wall, it was by far the good move to make to the 3 wide outside there on that 3 of Austin Hill now, and we continue going forward. Contact with the 2 now of Todd Gilliland as we split through the middle, clearing the 81 of Jesse Love, coming to 7 to go in this 500. Now up to P8 here on lap 64. Ryan Blaney's gotten himself up into the mix, but now he finds himself going in the wrong direction here as that inside lane has prevailed time and time again throughout this race. I mean, we have seen a lot of kind of single file in the first 3 to 4 cars as this race has gone on, as we've still got Fords up front. Zane Smith leads again as we've got so many Fords up here, the 98, the 17, the 12, and then a Honda, of course, in second of Ryan Preece. Now as we'll pass some other drivers, including the 5 of Kyle Larson. Now up into P4, the 17 leaves the door, and we get to the inside. He left it open, we close it into P3, coming to the final 5 laps of this Daytona 500 now, as we would actually follow Ryan Preece to the inside of the 12 of Zane Smith, who gives up the lead through 3 and off of turn 4, tries to side draft us. We clear him, and now it's a Honda back to the lead. It's been Ford and Honda all day long. We look to dethrone them in the final 5 laps of this Daytona 500 here now, as we close right to the back of this 29 into turn 1. We don't want to waste time. We don't know if a caution's coming. We need to make a move as soon as we can, and that's right now. Heading into turn 3, it's a drag race into turn 3 tight, and even look at the speed in that Honda. He's got no help, but he's hanging right there with us. Caution is out, and we barely had the lead as Chandler Smith blows a tire into the wall. We barely were leading over the 29 of Ryan Preece. We put a Cadillac in front, and it's going to be overtime for the final Daytona 500 of this NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. We are in full control. We have got Honda, Ford, Toyota lining up behind us here. No Cadillacs in sight. The green flag is back out, and we go into NASCAR overtime here for this final time in this 500. Now 2 laps to go, and Chris Buescher, who's been winless for well over a season, is right there on our back bumper, ready to pounce as well. Ryan Preece finally in a ride that might be capable of doing something. Andretti had a pretty rough couple of seasons, but now they've got the flagships status for Honda, so that could completely change everything. They tried something new in Iowa, the penultimate race of last season, and Bubba Wallace won for that team. We know they have very much coming into this season with high expectations now, and what a story it would be if they could get their second Daytona 500 win. They won the Daytona 500 in their first ever start for a full-time team with Corey LaJoie quite a few seasons ago, all the way back when they were still a Chevrolet Camaro. As we exit turn 4 and turn the conversation back into us, now we lead coming to the final lap. They're 3 wide. Here comes Zane Smith, who's been dominant all race long, hasn't won any of the stages, but we know he's got the speed. Now he falls in line behind the 17 of Chris Buescher, trying to position himself. Here comes that Honda power. However, the 29 of Ryan Preece is back to our right rear as we exit turn 2. Not quite clear now. Buescher down this back straightaway. We have to rely on him because look at that 29 move forward. Here comes Jesse Love. I jump up in front of the 81, and now the 17 splits us to the inside. We're 3 wide in the middle for the win of the Daytona 500, bouncing off the 29. Buescher runs up the racetrack trying to pull us back. We're all over each other. We clear the 17. It's going to be between myself and the 29. We bang. We slam down this front straightaway into the tri-oval. Help coming from Jesse Love. It's not enough. Ryan Preece wins the Season 6 Daytona 500. Unbelievable photo finish. Coming to the line, we were beating and banging. The only thing I could have done differently is put him in the actual wall at that point, but I'm not going to do that. Unbelievable. We had the help. It just wasn't enough as Ryan Preece wins it by that much. The 29 Andretti Global driver is into the playoffs now. As you see the rest of the finishing order, what a kickoff to the Daytona 500 and to this final season of the career mode. We are just short of winning our second Daytona 500, and we're now on the receiving end of a photo finish on the bad side of it, of course, instead of being on the positive side and winning. So what a way to kick off the final season. And we head super speedway racing again in the next episode from Atlanta, super speedway or motor speedway, and that's going to be an exciting one. And what a way to kick it off. I hope you guys are excited for this final season. I'll see you all in the next one from Atlanta. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.